Hello, divine, beautiful souls. This is Energy Speaks Podcast with your host, Catriel. We have a very special guest here today. Her name is Star. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing well. It's been a day, but it's been a good day.
I I understand that. I it's been a good day, but I'm learning to navigate through the energies and doing, doing what I normally do to shift that to, to be in my higher vibration.
Love that. Well, as you say those words, let's kind of get to know you a little bit more. How did you get into energy work?
That started back in 2015. Well, actually, towards the end of 2014, I was not doing any of this work at all. I was I had my own business, but I went through a course called the Dark Night, uh, and it's where my whole inner outer world fell apart. Connected with an amazing, beautiful soul who's now my best friend. She's always been my mentor still. Um, where it was expressed that I know how to do all these things. I did not go to any class or have anybody teach me any of this.
Wow.
I just decided, okay, let me just do this. I had no idea like what it was going to look like. Kind of had a few expectations, but learned to let go of those at some point. But when it came to the energy, like healing, things like that, I was like, what is that? I'm like, where do I start with that? What does that mean? So, of course, the teacher always shows up when the student's ready. Uh, where I was living, there was a gal who just moved to the area. She was offering Reiki, but like Reiki classes or to teach, to get certified. And I was like, I just went there and I just asked her, what is Reiki? She explained it a bit and then said, would you, thought maybe I would benefit from having a session so I would know what it was like. And I said, okay. Right after that, it was like within 3 months, I wound up getting my Reiki masters. It's like all three levels.
uh,
She just worked with me. Still, even at that time, I wasn't technically feeling the energies, but I just went in and was just like, you know what, whatever. I just allow spirit to be the one,
yeah.
be the driving force. So in actuality, I'd say Reiki was just the foundation because I don't use the symbols or anything like that. It's just the energy that I just allow to flow. And I, the testimonials I get afterwards are like, wow, that was so amazing. Like I even have the individuals hold a crystal in their hand or quartz crystals that I cleanse and then
Mhm.
I have them hold it. And um, the last two sessions that I did, it was just two individuals who just wanted to feel that energy of like, wow, like the giddiness. They was done separately, just random, not randomly, but like 2 weeks apart, and each one kind of had similar experience. They were just laughing and they were like, "That's just so wonderful." So that was yeah. So that's how it started for me. And I just feel like being in my presence, someone in my presence because of the energy I'm in, that alone helps shift an individual.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's funny, especially with Reiki. I feel like that's the entry point of like really getting into like energy work. And
Yeah.
a lot of people now are, you know, really just going in intuitive. Like
Yeah.
and learning, like, for instance, I had a mentor, God rest her soul, Judith, and I did like like a little mentorship with her where I was kind of helping her, she was helping me, and she was this amazing like Reiki teacher. And I'm like, what is that? And so she like shared that with me, but I don't use the symbols either. That's not like my go-to. It's
Mhm.
like I'm guided however to move the energy, you know, and that's like super unique. Like
Yeah.
that we don't have to necessarily fall under like this is exactly what we have to do in regards to a
Mhm.
structure, but
Yeah.
to tune in and say, wait, but this feels right. Like this is how I need to move the energy without like and they're not, neither one are like neither option are bad. It's just
No,
like it's like more fluidity, I feel.
I would agree because I just felt like um I remember someone expressing, and this is what I believe, that the only person who actually ever did Reiki was the first person who started it. And then it's been modified in so many different ways. So we're not technically doing Reiki. It's really just, like I said, it's the foundation. And then no matter, I think with any type of energy healing, um, for me, it's really the practitioner intuitively just knowing what is to be done, what, you know,
Yeah.
how to proceed in that moment, because we're all unique in our own ways. And so one healing is not going to be done exactly the same.
Right.
So, so I'm kind of like you. I just go intuitively, but everything that I do, though, everything in the spiritual practice, whether it's doing sessions for people or healings or whatever, it is all, even my playing my sound bowls, it is all done intuitively.
So let me ask you before we get into more details about what you do, how do you get into that sweet spot of your intuition? Like how how can others reach this as well?
I believe for everyone it's different. For me, in the very beginning, I used to go through a process that I thought I had to go through a process. Let me just, do some sort of meditations. And I used to like spray, um, my own homemade protection spray, had all these crystals. And then, y- to yeah, but see, I realized at some point that was really coming from a place of I need to protect myself,
Mm,
and and then get and allow myself to connect, when at some point I was just like, but that's not my belief system anymore. I mean, as far as uh feeling like I need to be protected, but from what? you
mm,
know um so for me, it's really, it's just a knowing. I it Inwardly, it's whoever is meant to connect with me is going to connect with me for a session, or whatever is meant to come through will come through. I just know this. And and when somebody, when I do some sessions here at home, or if it's online or whatever, I like really just immediately, it's inwardly, it's how can I help you? Period.
mm,
And then it's just listening and feeling the energy, and it just flows. It literally just flows. That's the only way I can explain it.
mm.
Um, and I don't question. I don't ever question what comes through. There was a time that I did, but when I don't, and I just allow it to come through, it is usually on point.
Mm. Yeah, we all have to go through those moments of like, am I saying the right thing? Or, is that really how it's coming through? Is that really what it means? Like, I remember
Yeah.
those days. And
Yes.
when you like let go, it's like so easy.
It is, and it flows. And sometimes I'm like, can we just keep going? I mean, like, I'm not done. Can we just go? I'm not done. Let me just, can we just go? And so, for example, yesterday I worked an event, It was at a global market, which is so cool.
Yeah.
It was a spiritual wellness event, and in my past, like years ago, it'd be like, okay, you know, I need to, get myself grounded and blah blah blah, and I'm just like, you know, I'm excited. I'm like, whoever's gonna meant to come sit down with me, perfect. If somebody doesn't, still perfect. And I was so busy, and I'll never forget the last session I did. This guy, he was translating for a Hispanic woman. I mean, I speak Spanish, but to me, to really explain really more in depth, it was better to do it in English. So he was
Yeah.
translating for her. In the end, he looks at me and he goes, "How do you know to? How do you know all this?" I'm like, I, I just let it flow. I'm like, what can I tell you? I, 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 it's what I see, what I hear, what I feel, and I just go with it. And I've learned sometimes if it doesn't make sense to me, what's coming through, or make sense to them, it eventually does, though,
Mm.
to them, because I've had people that have come back, a couple of times, like months later, even, you said blah, blah, blah. And that actually happened. I'm like, whoa, okay. Like, wow. But mind you, they're not sessions where I'm telling somebody their future or what. It's not that. It's me literally intuitively guiding them in their inner conversations and what am I seeing at the moment? How can they change that if that is what they're seeking within
Mm.
themselves based on their inner conversations?
Wow. So, couple, there's like a few questions kind of like going through my mind,
Okay.
and we're gonna see where it flows. Um,
Okay.
so you mentioned, you receive the answers in different ways. So, like,
Yep.
um, how do you receive like the different, so we can maybe teach our audience a little bit more about
Hmm.
how people can receive like the different clairs and things like that.
Yep. So I get flashes of visions. Like it's literally like a flash, in my mind's eye. And because when I'm doing a session, I find that I'm not even looking at the person directly at times. I'm like, it may appear I'm looking at them, but I'm off somewhere. But I just start, it's, I don't know, how can I feel it coming from my heart. And,
Mm.
and I, because even as I'm talking to you right now, I totally feel spirit with me. So
Oh
I
man.
get flashes. I get flashes of scenes more or less, or I can maybe subtly, not like hearing, but with the hearing, it's also a scene in a sense.
Mm.
And then I go, sometimes spirit can be, whoever's deciding to show up, whatever. They can be really comical, and I just kind of look at this person and I'm like, okay, they're kind of showing me this. Why does that make sense to you? They're like, oh yeah. I'm like, okay, it's just like just random stuff, but that's how it is for me. It's like flashes, and when I hear, it's not like I'm hearing somebody's voice. It's like, like like when sometimes where you could get a thought, like an idea, like you hear an idea. It's kind of like that. Is how the message comes through for me.
Mm.
uh and then and when I say from my heart, it's when I'm speaking, it's like the words are flowing, like I can't stop it
Mm.
just flows from my heart. um and so my thing is always coming from a place of love, like absolute love, because that's how I am, that's how I've chosen to see myself. And it's a daily practice for me to
Mm.
be in that space. For me, yeah, can be days where I'm, not that I'm disliking myself, but it's like I'm not feeling my heart space, and let me try and go there.
Yeah.
It's a daily practice. So my readings, or I don't want to say readings, they're more sessions, comes through that way. The intuitiveness, like it's just present, and um and the individual gets it. They can feel the energy, and it's always
Mm,
what's meant to be heard.
I love that. Wow.
Hmm.
So what tools do you use when you're in your sessions?
I don't use any tools.
It's just
Like,
you. It's just you
it's
and your
just me,
channel.
just me.
Amazing.
I will usually hold a just an amethyst or my Lemurian crystal, but in the past, I used to use them thinking I needed to hold those to have a connection. But
Mm,
I don't do that. It's not it. Um, I hold them because I don't know, it's the energy within them from my intention to just allow I guess, my energy to just maybe elevate, or it's sometimes, I think, with my Lemurian crystal, uh, it's a thought process, and it could be where maybe it helps me, but it I most of the time I'm not holding it, though, not at all. But it's almost like when I feel like it's just, let me just hold you, and I'm just speaking, and it's like almost like non-existent, but it's there.
yeah. Wow. Beautiful. Wow. So
That
you do you do different sessions and um what the like one-on-one sessions like you described. What else
Yep.
do you do?
I also play sound bowls. I'm a sound bowl practitioner. And actually, I was introduced to them by our lovely sister, Jennifer. Jenny, she when she lived near me,
Mm,
we had a mutual friend that introduced us. Well, I was invited to go there, and that's how I met Jen. And Jen and Scott, and it was an hour long session, and
wow.
totally fell in love with the whole thing. Then I started going to so when I moved, I was going to a gal that actually lived in the same area. She has well, spiritual store or a wellness store. And so she always has sessions on a Tuesday, Thursday night, and a Sunday morning. And these are all alchemy bowls, just like Jen had
Wow.
plays. And I started going. And then I felt, wow, I feel the call to do this. And then I was asked, do I need to get certified? Like, oh, absolutely not. You just intuitively play. So I started buying bowls from the gal. They're crystal quartz bowls. And literally, that is how I play. It, I will usually start off a certain way, but the rest of the time I'm intuitively just playing. Sometimes I'm noticing that my eyes are closed at times, and I'm just going with where I need to go. And that is also starting to take off. People are asking me um, to do an event in their establishment. So in my corporate world, and to my team, the team that I'm on, they found out that I play sound bowls. We had a session one day, like, to sell two truths and a lie. To my one of my truths was I play sound bowls. I'm like, what is that? And they're all virtual. They're in different states. And so we're planning to meet in person in a few months, supposedly. If I'm still there, because I might not be. But anyway, so we're like, what can we do as a team, to bond even more? And you go, Paula, to play, or I should say Star, because I recognize myself as Star. If Star, will play her sound bowls for us. I'm like, oh, you guys are really interested in this. So it's no more hiding. Not that I was intentionally hiding, but there was that thought, like, these people are on, doing spiritual stuff. They don't know about this, blah, blah, blah. Well, psych, wrong. They like it.
So it's funny because you're the second sound bowl healer we have had on this podcast.
Hmm.
And ironically, it happens to have been Jennifer McClure.
Jennifer, yes, yes, I love her. Yes.
And so, audience, if you can remember that podcast, yeah, like now we get to see a different perspective of someone who um who sets the sacred space for sound healing. And because I'm funny in regards to the whole zodiac thing, we have an Aries perspective from Jennifer's perspective, right? And we have a Scorpio from Star's perspective.
Yes. Oh, yes. Um, I the gal who's the practitioner that I go to sometimes, because it's an event that she usually has.
Mhm.
So I actually go to her advanced sessions now, and there's not there aren't that many people that can hold that energy,
Yeah.
because if you haven't cleared, you know, as much, the body doesn't respond well to the sound. So someone else who
Mhm.
maybe is still clearing, and it's nothing that it's wrong with them. It's just like it's just they have to build up, to that level of, inner clearing, inner releasing. So to someone else who hasn't done a lot of that, it can sound really rough to them and unpleasant.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And um so and for me, because I felt like anytime I've listened to them, I've never had something like that. So for me it's a little hard to get that. I'm just like,
Mhm.
"Oh, that's just beautiful. How can you not like that?" you
Yeah.
know. But yeah, but it's honoring where someone's at. So,
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. It's funny because I'm thinking this. You're thinking of the sound bowls from something that I used it with at one point in time. I um I did this one series called the Zodiac Energy Empowerment Series,
okay.
and it was to essentially walk through every single zodiac energy one by one,
Okay.
and feel into what each one feels like. How do you embody that? How do you walk through that energy? Because we're all of them. And so
Mhm.
I was sitting there teasing them apart. And so I, because of the model I use, I start off with Scorpio, the zero energy, and it's setting the sacred space essentially.
Yeah.
And so it was funny because when I decided that I was going to, do a specific event for Scorpio, it was a sound bowl healing.
Oh, wow. Not
Yeah.
surprised. Not surprised. Not
So
surprised at all.
my question is because I mean I have my feels and everything in regards to sound healing and how that really, from a Scorpio perspective, creates the sacred space and for the transformation. How is
Mhm.
that for you being a practitioner? I guess I want to ask from the practitioner perspective and also the receiving side when you're actually receiving the energy as well.
Okay. So I'll go in with the start with the receiving first,
Okay.
because I will say that that is my intention, receive, and each time it's always, what is my intention for this particular session? What is it am I choosing to let go? But I've learned to put out there with ease, because I don't know about you, but I I know a few Scorpios, and it's this tendency to like just dive deep, and that's me. I like, okay, I'm ready to dive deep, but can we have a little ease and flow with this? Okay, because I don't know. I love it. I love the receivership of it. Like, it's feeling that energy, and the experience, every experience is different for me. And I just call just gratitude. I'm just grateful. I just feel the gratitude of receivership instead of always, not I want to say always, but being the person that, being the practitioner is learning to still be the student, still
Yeah.
receive, because I am always learning. And what can I say? I want to know more. I want to know more. Um, and as a practitioner, how do I set that? Well, really, as a practitioner, it's my intention to be the best version of myself in that
Mm,
moment. And to invite, is usually inviting everyone to be conscientious of what are their intentions,
mm,
and to, and I usually do a little guided, a small little guided breath meditation to really allow them to be in the silence and relax. And so then when I start playing, they're already in the stillness before the bowls start. And then from there, it just flows. And I will literally sometimes, if I'm not having my eyes closed, I'm watching people. I'm interested to know, what do I see for them. And and it's usually very interesting. And then if they're very quiet and still, I'm like, wow, wonderful. And it could be that person that's moving around stuff, but that's okay, because I'm like, oh, they're releasing. They have their way of
mm.
releasing. And I'm like, that's great. So for everyone, it's unique and different. So, mm,
I love that. Wow. Wow. Thank you for sharing that with us.
yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for asking. It allowed me to sit back and go, oh, yes, sharing both sides of it. So,
Yeah. So have you ever done a sound bowl session like with someone individual?
yes, like just an individual person.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I now live 2 hours south of from where I used to live. And so, Kate, sometimes I go up north if I'm going to be there, maybe for a weekend. There are a couple of people who like want to have a session and then ask me to play the sound bowls as well. And
Mm,
I do that. Or if I have a client that comes here, that client will, they have 30-minute or an hour sound bowl session just for them. Or
wow.
my daughter, when she comes to visit me lately, it's been like, before she goes home, can you play your sound bowls? I'm like, yeah.
I love
So
that.
yeah, I do. And those are really fun, and it's really not any different, really, because but it's just more personal for them, where they're just comfortable, not that they're uncomfortable with other people, but this is just for them. And I myself have had a session just for me, and that one, I will say, was one of my I'll have to say it was one of my best sessions ever.
I love that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So one other question in regards to sound bowl healing.
Mhm.
Um I like because the sound bowl healing, is, yes, it's sound,
Mhm.
but it's also vibration.
Yep.
How do you feel? Like, what goes on with you when you're actually feeling these vibrations as you're like literally doing it?
Yep, when I'm playing them, so I set an intention for myself. If I
Mm,
know, and I um recently, when I know that I'm shifting something within, and I'm having a little difficulty within myself letting go.
yeah.
If once a week I play for the senior citizens near
Oh,
me. It's every
cool.
Monday. So I take that opportunity. I'm like, well, I'm playing. So I'm like, let me set my intention for myself as well. And
Mm,
I'll remember like there was once that I felt like the energy from my heart in my throat. And I'm like, I'm really wanting to shift that. So intuitively, um, I remember where I was playing the ball. I think I was playing the thymus and then also the sacral. And I just had my eyes closed and I just went into the energy. I literally went into the energy of my heart and
wow.
but allow the sounds of the bowls to like to start breaking that up and um so yeah, I was was clearing my throat a bit. I wasn't being, I was trying to be a little quiet just since I'm the practitioner. I didn't want to disturb the others. So um, but yeah, so I do set intentions for myself as well
Wow.
because I am receiving. I'm also
Yeah.
receiving as I'm gifting.
Amen. So now we've set the sacred space for this like transformative Scorpio here, right?
Yes.
Now I kind of
Yes.
want to like shift gears a little bit in regards to the inner world that you
Mm,
help people shift and change.
hmm I want to say that is the most enjoyable. I I have. I really can't even use a word to describe it.
Mm,
It began with me first. It started with, I think like with most people, like, we most of us know about Abraham Hicks, there's Wayne Dyer. And I always remember in the very beginning when I was working with my very first mentor, like she's so phenomenal that, I mean, she's in Florida, I'm here. And I would get messages from her of, stop your overthinking, you're creating what you don't want. I'm like, what are you talking? Like, I'm I'm trying to think in a good way, but yeah, so anyway, I was like, finally one day, I was like, oh, I get it. I was reading one of Wayne Dyer's books, and then I was listening to a bit of Abraham Hicks, and I was like, I kind of really don't get you right now. So you're not right for me at the moment. And um, then that's when Wayne Dyer came in. And then eventually it's like it's planting the seed, you know it's about learning about the inner. And then it was like, then went back to Abraham Hicks. I was like, oh, I get what you're saying, understand it. But still there was a missing piece.
mm,
And I was like, I'm ready for whatever this is. I And along came, for me, it was Neville Goddard, who taught about really your concept of self, the concept of who you are. How are we creating from that? And he is a teacher way before his time, but I connected with my new mentor because she is the one that was sharing the content on her Instagram page, and I was mentored by her for 2 years, was in her mastermind, and literally understand how we view, like, the concept I have of myself, the inner conversation I have of myself and also others, whatever I'm inwardly saying or believing about, like, you or anyone or anything, is where I'm creating everything in my outside world. Like
mm,
the universe and there, or God, how, whoever, whatever name one wants to put out there, does not care if it's good for me or bad. It's just knowing, what am I giving attention to, what am I giving life to within myself.
mm.
And everything and everyone shows up for me perfectly, even if it's someone I don't like. It's like I somehow in some way created it. And so learning to change the inner language, like say the word hope, like, and I just heard this today. It was Jim Carrey. I was listening to something that, a speech he was giving, I guess. I listen to these things like to show up on my YouTube channel. Oh, listen to this. I'm like, okay. So anyway, there was his speech, hope. He goes, I don't like the word hope because hope is really saying we don't have it. That it's, it's
Yeah.
to him says it's begging. And
Mm,
I just see it as not, it's already saying I don't have it. It's not been done. So,
mm,
and also through my mentor, so hope is a wonderful word, but if you, how about saying trust? I trust that, I trust that you are well. I trust that you have received it. It's saying it's already done. It's not saying that it's not. So learning to come from a place of it, or of me being that, a place, from something already having already been given or received, or a place of thankfulness. So when
mm,
someone comes to me, I'm somehow, I'm listening. I'm really listening how they're speaking, and also what are they seeking. But I'm
mm,
also paying attention to the words that they're saying about someone or something. Like, for example, well, my husband's always been this person who, how can I put it? Well, I'm just throwing something out there. My husband has always been this person that, he doesn't use his manners, or a person that, you know, if he doesn't like something, he walks away and won't communicate. That right there is in a conversation.
mm.
Your assumption is, what have you always been saying? My husband always walks away when we're trying to have a serious conversation. So that's what's playing out. Change the
Mm,
conversation to, uh, isn't it just wonderful how when we have something important to talk about, that we always come together in the right moment? It's giving
right,
life to that versus something else, that he always walks away, or he's always willing to share his view, share his emotions, or how, whatever it is that your person is seeking. So it's changing that inner dialogue.
right. Wow. I love that. Yeah. I it I I'm processing a lot right now, honestly. um
um,
I I've been going to this one class, of manifesting your truest potential, essentially, or living up
hmm
to your fullest potential. I can't even remember the exact name of the class, but the word
uh,
potential is the point.
yes, yes,
And
yeah.
we have, it's like a mastermind group, and it's it's really teaching me to um slow down and really be conscious of what I speak into existence, and
hmm
like what wolf am I feeding, like,
hmm
and it's it's important. I really feel like it's really important, that we slow things down sometimes to put the potency in.
yes.
Think about potency, potential.
hmm yes.
Just literally came through. I was not like, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, because there are unlimited potentials. So it's like Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditation, tuning into new potentials. Which, by the way, I did this morning in a group, Dr. Joe Dispenza group meditation. We hadn't done
Mhm.
that one in a long time, and of course, we're talking about potentials, and meditation is tuning into new potentials.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. It's just like, I don't know if you ever seen your mind's eye, like when you meditate and you
hmm
think of the word potential, like this just, like, here's my light,
hmm
and here's like the light shining, right? And it's and now those, like, when you look at a light and you can kind of see the different beams coming out in all different directions,
Yeah.
those are like the different potentials.
Yes. Yes.
And it's like, it's wild to to like to like now, like, instead of just focusing on the light that's here, and as you move out, like, following those different paths, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wow. Have you ever like done that and followed a potential?
I know not like that, but I love that, because I can visualize that and be like, oh, that totally makes like so much sense, like I can relate to that. I really can. It's like I can see the lights, but how? So it's funny that you mentioned the light.
Mhm.
Um, so I practice soma breath work. I practice it for myself on a daily basis. Actually, I did one like right before our podcast. So,
Oh,
but
brilliant.
so there's a part in it where I actually tune into the light and allow the light to come and envision that the light's coming through, just a white light and a golden light just coming through instead of just like me, the light within me. So it's basically taking the light within me to connect with that light, but bringing that light within me to, uh, it's me who says, I want to clear out stuff. I want to be in my heart space. That's my intention, be in my heart space to see, feel, and see everything from the eyes of love. And and it's like there's no other way but practice and practice and practice till it's my normal, till it's natural and stuff. So yeah, I like that with the because that's what it is. There's unlimited potentials that are out there. And it's where it's getting out of our own way, which is here, or the body, to say it must be like this or like that. And because the unlimited potentials are better than what we would have actually tried to plan. So,
So it's funny. I'm sitting here thinking, and I was putting the words together, and everything you're saying, all the energy, right? You said
hmm
soma, and then we're talking about light. I've told you about aura soma.
yeah,
Aura soma is literally, aura means light,
yep,
soma means body, light
okay,
body.
sure.
And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, that's really funny. So I'm wondering, I have two things that I'm guided to do, and I want to share them with you and see if it resonates.
Okay,
One, I would love to pull a card from the Orasoma deck to
okay,
see what that potential, one of those potentials are of what we're embodying and
okay,
for the collective at this
perfect.
moment in
Yeah.
time.
hmm
And two, if you're open to it, I would love for you to do a small little tiny like meditation for us.
What type of meditation? Hmm. Let me tap into that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think I could do a meditation. I just have to figure out what meditation will I do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um I have, before we start that, one, I want to pick the card, and two, I have two questions to ask you that I
Okay.
promised myself that I would ask every single person in this season.
Okay.
And maybe that might spark something.
Okay.
So I just picked the card Kathumi.
Okay.
It's connected with um, the King of Swords, and it's pale yellow over pale yellow, which is that's the Orasoma bottle.
Okay.
And I am
Wonderful.
going to um, read you what it is connected with. So
Okay.
actually, I'm going to turn it to this side, and I'm going to read the communication to the Davic realm, the subtle energies. Skillful means, clever and courageous. Be not afraid. Do not be too occupied by the clarity of thoughts. Two-way communication from that which is above to that which is beneath us. A communication with the Davic realms.
I like that.
Wow, I feel like that really actually spoke out what was going on, like,
Yes.
right now.
Uh-huh. So below, above, so below, like
Wow.
within, without, like yeah. Oh my God.
So the second is the first question, I should say, is what is energy to you?
To me, energy is, oh, it's not just one thing. What comes to me and what I feel with it is energy is who I am. I am energy. I am not of the physical body. Um, so the energy is love. It is nothing. It is nowhere, in no time, and in no place. It's in the stillness. It's in the blackness. It is. It is simply in the now. It is here and now. Um, and the energy is limitless. I am limitless. We're all limitless because energy is not a physical thing. It's,
Mm,
of course, it's an energy that can consistently change, and it can change within a second. And it's all, we are always changing in every second. And as that to me is energy. And when I speak that, it's like it hits home even more for me. Like, I
mm,
am this energetic being who can truly create more than what I have been.
mm.
And it's to letting go of the physical body to be there in that space.
Wow.
Mhm.
So it's funny you said when I speak out this energy, right? Now I'm gonna reverse it a bit. How does energy speak to you?
So, energy speaks to me in the aspect of, I'd say it is it is speaking to me in a sense of reminding me who I
Mm,
am. Also, it is your energy, everyone else's energy. How does someone else's energy, which is also me, how is it speaking to me? What am I feeling? What am I noticing?
mm,
Within myself, it's I feel like it's a what's coming, I feel like it's a reflection of who I am
oof,
because of the oneness. There is no separation. It's just a perception
yeah.
of separation. So I f- when someone comes to me for a session, their energy is speaking to
Mm,
see me as I am, to truly see me. And so my intention lately has been to see every single person as they truly are, because that that is my outer world. So
mm,
if I truly see their energy, is their, how is their true essence speaking to me? At some point, let's just say if they're in a disconnect in the moment, as I'm seeing them in their true energy, it must come to life. It must
mhm,
show itself. It must show itself to me or to anyone or to them because they are me. Does it necessarily have to be in my physical eyes? No, but because they are me, at some point when they're ready to shine, they will shine. That energy.
mm. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Wow.
So, um, yeah, I think I'm ready for a meditation. I think I know what I want to. It's been a long
Yay.
time since I've guided a meditation, but for me, it's the breath. Breath at first is life. The breath within in the physical body is energy, though. It's shifting the energy in the body.
Yeah.
So I would just say to just be relaxed and comfortable. And I'm just going to do a short breath in the nose and out the mouth. Um, and then um, I'll just speak what comes forth. That works.
Absolutely.
All right. So I want you to take this moment and just take one deep breath in through the nose and then just exhale it out of the mouth and set intention for yourself in this moment of what is it that you're truly wanting to embody and receive, and what is it that you're wanting to let go from within yourself. I invite you to take a deep breath in your nose, the four count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through the mouth of 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through your nose of 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through the mouth of 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale of 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale of 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the nose of 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through the mouth of 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more inhale through the nose of 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through the mouth of 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold that on a count of 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just take one deep inhale all the way down into the belly and hold that for 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale. And in this moment, as you've in your exhale, notice where you're feeling, what are you feeling in your body? Any tingling or any lightness? And feel that lightness within your heart and in your crown. And know that in this moment, you're in the most perfect place. What is your intention for today? What is your intention for tomorrow? But looking at tomorrow as already today, what is it that's in your heart space that you've been desiring and have not allowed yourself to receive? And know that it's already there. Creation's already done. Has already been completed. It's allowing self to receive, allowing self to know that you are not less than, and that whatever you desire is always here for you. There is so much love for you. You are the gift. And as you are the gift, you're also gifting others. You are the essence of love. Remember that. You're never not. And you're so divine, and divine lives within you as it lives within others. You're the essence of God, God who is pure, God who is love, God is who's perfection. Created in his image, we're also perfection in our own unique ways. To look within and wonder and ask yourself, where have I not fully accepted myself? And if you haven't, ask yourself why, and what will you do? At what lengths will you go to fully accept oneself, fully within yourself? Because others see you as you see yourself. How do you desire others to see you? How are you just choosing to see others? Remember, there is always this oneness within all of us, and we're not separate. There is no separation. There never has been. It's just a perception. So, what are you choosing? What are you choosing for self? How are you choosing to love yourself? In this moment, feel white light within you. The white golden light, that is you, coming down to your crown, to your third eye, down to your throat, feeling the light go even further down into your heart. And let it sit there at your heart and feel into it. Feel how it just expands and expands and expands into your outside world. As you're feeling the expansion, feel the light going down your left arm and out to your fingertips. Feel it going out to your right arm and down to your fingertips and out. Feel the light and see the light traveling down to your solar and your sacral and to your root, and feel the expansion, an expansion of love and joy and happiness. Feel it traveling down your hips to your left leg, down to your left leg and out your left foot, connecting with Mother Earth. Feel the light traveling down your right leg, all the way out your right foot, connecting with Mother Earth. Mother Earth is love. She's pure. She's joy. She's the wonder that we all are. She is beauty, as are you. Feel the energy traveling right back up your body to your feet, your left and your right, traveling up your legs, your hips, your root, your sacral, and your solar, and feel it traveling back to your heart and let it sit in your heart. Feel the expansion and know that it is you. Feel the heart beating. Feel the love that is there, that is you. Whenever you have a moment of feeling less than or sadness or disconnect, remember the feeling of your heart, of the light there, because you are the light. It's the white gold, it's the white and the gold light that is you, essence of love. Take another deep breath in and exhale. And allow the light to just remain because that is who you are. Okay, how's that?
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're
Wow.
welcome.
I needed that. Really
I did
needed
too.
that. That is the light body activation
Yeah.
with
For me, it's
breath
the white. Yes, for
from
yes,
the
for me.
star.
Yes, star, star. Yes, just essence of joy, love, peace, and light. Uh, the beauty, beauty.
Wow. Wow. I just want to thank you so much for coming on Energy Speaks podcast today.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here and getting to know you even better too. So,
I wow. I
thank you.
you're so welcome. I am just still flying. I also want to thank all of our listeners and viewers. Just thank you for tuning in and just always, looking forward to another conversation. And they're so different and so beautiful. And if you yourself ever want to come on Energy Speaks podcast and just, you know, put another seed of love in there by your perspective, just reach out. See Catriel go hippie.
Oh, do reach out to Catriel. He's amazing. And thank you guys. Thank you for guys for listening and taking the time, out of your day to share your energy with us.
Oh man. So thank you so much. And I just wanna um give you guys blessings throughout the week. Have a beautiful, divine, loving just hug of a week. This is Energy Speaks Podcast with your host, Catriel. Shalom.